Hey everybody, come along with me and check out Vegan Pop Eats. We're discussing pop culture and vegan influencing and all sorts of cool stuff that Angela is all up to on today's episode. Come learn more about the vegan influencer life.
They want a safe space. They don't want someone condemning them for whatever they're doing. You know, like I always tell people that my conversion rate is 100%. You know, once I show you, you're like, oh, I can do that. So
Yeah.
I don't try to fit into the old way of seeing veganism because I always say baby steps count. So however you come over here, I'm the business model is changing the perception of veganism through conversation, cuisine, and conscious living.
That's right.
So I'm showing you that debunking the myths that this life cannot be full.
Welcome to Plant-Based on Fire.
Hello everybody and welcome to Plant-Based on Fire. I am your host Bryan and we are here to talk about plant-based businesses and their inspiring stories to thrive in our industry. The best way you can support us and awesome people like the guests I'm about to introduce is by clicking that subscribe button down below and helping spread the word on that. And you can let us know what you love about this episode, and maybe you can suggest some other awesome guests that we should talk to. Joining us today is Angela Yvonne. She is the executive producer and host of the lifestyle show Vegan Pop Eats. Welcome to the show, Angela.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I am excited to speak to you because I've been following you and watching a couple of things that you've got going on, and you are a force of nature helping move the industry forward in a big way. So you're similar to what we're trying to do with the real people eat plants kind of thing with just trying to be that advocate and stuff. So I'd love to go back to the beginning a little bit and sort of talk to us about like what inspired you to become vegan and a vegan advocate, and how did you get started in this career?
Well, the way that I got started was my mother had gotten breast cancer. And when she got breast cancer, I decided that I would start off as vegetarian. And as I started to go more and more into learning more about what food does to the body and things of that nature, 8 years ago, I decided to cross all the way over. And then the rest is history. I can't describe how it's changed my life. And I'm just so excited to grow more into the lifestyle.
Yeah, I had the same journey. I mean, that cheese and ice cream is hard to give up, but I
Yeah,
promise once you do, there are so many awesome alternatives. So that is
absolutely.
awesome. And I just love that, and I hope more people are inspired by that little mini story you gave. But like, it's so interesting. Like you got into the TV side of it. I mean, like the TV side is a really powerful medium still to this day. Can you describe that evolution of,
Well, I am a
from
journalist. I went to school. I went to the University of North Carolina at
hmm
Pembroke, and I have a double degree in public relations and broadcast journalism. So when I moved to New York, I had always wanted to be on air. I am well versed in pop culture. So when I got to New York, I was doing the whole, trying to figure it out, doing the grind, doing red carpets and things of that nature. But then when COVID hit, it was right sort of, I think I was maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years of being serious about, my vegan journey. And at that time, I was a talk show host for the L Spot show in Brooklyn, New York, out of Brick Media. And we had the opportunity to produce a segment of our own on whatever we wanted to talk about inside the show. So I was just like, you know what, let me see if someone would be interested in, knowing about some of the hot spaces in, New York in the vegan space. And the first episode was me and my producer going to Urban Vegan Kitchen. And I was trying to convince her to cross over to the green side through vegan mac and cheese. Because mac and cheese I tell everyone, is the gateway drug. Anyone, if you're trying to get someone to cross over, you give them vegan mac and cheese, and then they can understand that it's a possibility, because cheese is the hardest thing for people to give up.
yeah.
So when that happened, it was just like, huh. And so I started researching, like, are there any vegan lifestyle shows? Are there any kind of vegan, media or content and things of that nature? And there was nothing. I mean, there'll be something here and there, but it was more so like it was like the bare minimum.
hmm
So at that time, then COVID hit. And, if you're a journalist, you weren't going to the red carpets, you weren't going to the events, you weren't going to all these things, you were at home. And at that time, everyone was like, oh, we're going to go live, And I was like, oh, go live. So I was just like, well, what am I going to go live about? And that's when Vegan Pop Eats was born, because I had a dream, and that was the name, Vegan Pop Eats. Because I'm vegan, I love pop culture, and I love to eat. So when that happened, I just started sending emails to just people that I would see on Instagram saying, oh, would you like to come on live and talk about your vegan journey? Would you like to talk about that? And slowly but surely, people, we were in the house. So everyone was like, oh, sure, I'll come and talk about it. What you want, and then it started to snowball. But then when I really secured like a major voice, and that was John Sally, that's when I knew I had something.
Yeah.
And when he said yes, it was like all gas, no brakes. And then, I was just like, oh, well, let me see who else I could get. And so, that was my brand just turned 4 years old. So that was, when was COVID? Like 2 years ago?
I know. It seems like only yesterday, but
yeah,
it was a while.
Wait, COVID was
2020.
2020. Right? So yeah, I'll say
it lasted for about 2 years.
It sort of wrapped up around 21, 22, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we just got on a roll, and now 4 years later, I have spoken at Harvard. I just wrapped up my pilot for PBS, Plant Forward Show, and it's named Vegan Pop Eats with Angela Yvonne. I've spoken with the who's who. I still speak to the who's who that are inspirational in our space. Senator Cory Booker, Tabitha Brown, Bryan Terry, Ernest Latham. It's been over 100 interviews. It's been over 100 interviews, and I've spoken at different plant-based events and things of that nature. And I also have my own event that I just started last year. So I can honestly say that it's been really, really good, but I know that I still have more work to do, because the ultimate goal is to land a permanent on-air position on a major network like Good Morning America, just talking about our lifestyle as a whole, because people don't understand we have so much going on in this space. We have vegan hotels, vegan fashion shows, the electric cars, sustainability. We have all of those different things, and it's important for us to have a voice in these spaces so people can understand that, one, it's important because of our planet, and two, it's important because of our health. And you can switch those around. I normally say health is the number one reason. And it's important for us to have a voice so people can, choose how they want to be part of the lifestyle, because the lifestyle is not to separate anyone. It's supposed to bring everyone together.
That's right. Yeah. That is awesome. It's so like, and I was looking at your website, and I saw many of your videos. You say, come on over to the green side.
It's dope over here on the green side.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So like, that's the ultimate message you're just trying to convey, right? I mean, it's similar.
Absolutely.
It's real men eat plants. I'm trying to really focus on, helping these men wake up that you can ditch the bacon and still be manly. But like, the way you say it is just phenomenal.
Yeah, so. Real meat and real men eat plants. That's good. And I think how people were able to, gravitate to my brand and gravitate to who I am, is my authentic self. So I don't try to fit into the old way of seeing veganism, because I always say baby steps count. So however you come over here, I'm tickled. If you just want to do a meatless Monday, if you just want to have vegan hair products, if you just want to do, vegan Fridays or whatever you want to do, I'm still happy about it. And I don't try to enforce a certain way to do it. Because when you're telling people to give up meat, you have to understand that you're asking them to change a habit that they probably had all their lives. You're also telling them to change their thought process of, probably family gatherings, history, just different things. So you do have to be a little bit you do have to have a little bit more patience, and you have to have a little bit more grace with
Mm-hmm.
people who are not exposed to, the lifestyle.
That's right.
So that's where
And
I come in.
I know you hit it on the head, right? I mean, there's, you know, we want to reduce suffering as vegans in general, and it's just that concept of like, you know, any step forward is awesome. I'm not expecting you to convert to where I'm been. It's been almost 15 years of a journey for
Right.
me. You know what I mean? Like, and I started out a vegetarian. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't come straight over. But I do challenge everybody out there to give it a try for 30 days and see
Oh, yeah,
how you do. So
absolutely.
what do you sort of see is like that special way in this competitive digital landscape in this post-COVID world and stuff? How do you sort of grow and connect with your audience?
Well, for me, I'll just stand back my authenticity, and I actually have a passion for, wanting people to live a life of abundance. And you can't
Mm-hmm.
have a life of abundance if you are harming something,
Right.
because karma is real, or whatever you believe in. Everything comes around, and everything has a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing your justice, or doing your, thought process, as in how am I going to show up in this world, that's how I'm able to, connect with my audience. And I'm pretty dope. So there's
I
that.
agree.
And I mean, I'm pretty funny. And I just love being in this lifestyle, because it literally has changed the way that I see things. It literally
Mm-hmm.
has changed my way of, how I'm, self-acceptance.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that it's like, why not? Why
That's
wouldn't you
right.
want to be in a space where you are, you know, trying to level up to your highest self?
Mm-hmm. That's right. And
So,
it's interesting, like whether it's your first time traveling abroad or having kids or giving up something, you know what I mean? Like you have to do it to see it, because it's just hard to quantify. Like people can tell you about it all that you want, but like you have to
right.
try it and do it and see it, and then you'll see all these little things that you're like, oh, now I get it, kind of thing.
All right, if you've ever wanted to show off your plant-based lifestyle and do it in style, here's your chance. We have some of the most amazing t-shirts, hats, accessories, coffee mugs, and more at shop.realmeneatplants.com. We have statement t-shirts that will bring a smile to everyone's face. I love the I Want Tofu Tonight tee. Plus, we have podcast tees, Real Women Eat Plants gear, Real Kids Eat Plants, and Real People Eat Plants, just in case men, women, and kids didn't cover it all. Yeah, we love you and love that you want to show off that healthy lifestyle of yours. Again, check out our high-quality gear at shop.realmeneatplants.com and enjoy.
Thing. But that, I guess the fascinating thing for me is like, in some of the videos I was watching is like, it feels very like, I feel like my content is very much so on the vegan agenda to a degree. And you somehow managed to weave both the vegan and non-vegan things so well together. Is there some secret to creating some compelling content like that? Give me some tips, would you?
Well, well, and I've never really had someone ask me that question, because when I look at my content, I'm like, oh, I haven't done enough. Like when I see my stuff, I'm just like, okay, I might need to change a little bit, change something. But at the end of the day, I just look at it as in, it's something that it's a message that I truly want to serve. And so for me, I try not to look at other people's, I guess, content. Of course, you get inspired by certain things, but it's best for you to just to show it authentically, and don't get caught up in, I think we get so caught up in this space with being in the straight and narrow, if that's the best way to say it. And I think that we get so caught up in, okay, I have this script. I need to make sure I hit all these points. but that's not how people
Yeah.
gravitate to you, or that's not how people gravitate to this lifestyle.
Yeah.
They want a safe space. They want a safe space. They don't want someone condemning them for whatever they're doing. You know, like I always tell people that my conversion rate is 100%. You know, because once I show you, you're like, oh, I can do that.
That's
Like
right.
you mentioned earlier that cheese was the hardest thing to give up. And I always tell people, I have some cheese that'll make you just throw everything out the window. Like,
That's right.
have you had Rebel cheese yet?
I have not, but I mean, the plant-based cheese won the awards and then it got taken away from them. So like you're spot on. Like we're coming around the corner here. So
Rebel
yeah.
cheese will change your life.
Right.
And
That's right.
I have, they sent me some product, and I had to save it for my friends because I was just like, I'm telling you, it's crap. It
Yeah.
is crap. It is the best vegan cheese that I've had, and I love, like Miyoko's. I love like BioLife. I love Good Planet. I
Yeah.
love, all of them. But Rebel cheese they just get it.
That's right.
And also Riverdale has, I don't know if you're in New York, but Riverdale is a vegan cheesemonger that we have here in New York, and you can go there and get the different types of cheeses.
I
Just kiss.
have a long list of places I want to go see when I'm back up in New York. I grew up there, but I'm down in Charlotte now. So
You're in
yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yeah.
I used to live in Fayetteville.
Ah, that's awesome. So
Yeah,
when you
I
get
went to
down here
University of North
visit,
Carolina at Pembroke.
awesome.
Yeah, in
Awesome.
Pembroke. But yeah, I'm in Brooklyn now, but yeah, New York is definitely culinary vegan space.
That's right. That's right. I was gonna say I got Asheville close by, but
Oh, I'm
Charlotte's
wanting to go to Asheville.
yeah, you've got to. It's got some great. I mean, I think New York's got everybody beat, but
Oh
but
yeah. Yeah,
Asheville's
yeah.
definitely up there for sure. So, well, I'm just curious, like, what's the because this podcast is meant to help other vegan entrepreneurs get started with their business. So I'm always looking for
Mm-hmm.
tips and tricks to help other vegan businesses. So, what do you sort of see as the core business model of Vegan Pop Eats, and how is it supporting your mission? And just break down some of the business side.
Well, from the business side, I am a journalist,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also a content creator. And for me, there's just so many things up underneath that window, if that's the best way to say it, because I am a speaker. I am, an activist, and I also operate in the media space. So I would say, the business model is changing the perception of veganism through conversation, cuisine, and conscious living.
That's right.
So I'm showing you that, debunking the myths that this life cannot be full.
That's right.
I guess if that's the best way to answer your question.
No, I mean it's true, because like people always ask me like, well, what are you going to talk about next on the podcast? And it's just like I've got a list of 1,000 things like that I want to talk about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, but some people are like, I don't know how you do it, and I'm like, I don't know. It's just like we're built
It's just
for
so much to talk about.
Yeah.
There's so many things to do, but as a creative and when you are an entrepreneur, I can say that you really have to have a passion for it, because being an entrepreneur is not the same as you having a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It is
For
not
sure.
the same, not even close.
That's right.
Because there are months where you're like, oh, I'm making X amount of dollars, and then there's months where you're like, there's crickets.
Yeah.
Where you either have to decide if I'm going to do a part-time job to keep me afloat, or you'll have a thought process of, I'm over this, let me just go to corporate,
That's right. That's right.
But then when at the end of the day, I think it just boils down to your passion for it. And I think what it boils down to is, do you really want to make a mark in this world and show that you're here? Or do you want to assist with someone else's dreams? I guess if that's the best way for me to
No,
wrap it all
it's
up.
so yeah, absolutely. It's so true, right? So like what would you say on this journey you've been on? What was the key advice you'd give to other entrepreneurs trying to get into this vegan, say, lifestyle industry?
I would really say that you just do it. Just
Right?
do it. There's room for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There's room
That's
for
right.
everyone. And just know that your idea was given to you for a reason.
That's right. That's right. And I would just I 100% agree, and I think just also know how to just pivot and experiment. Some things are going to not work. That doesn't mean
Right.
your core thing isn't going to work. Go back and talk to some friends. Call me, call you. We'll be glad to brainstorm it with you. Like there's a path for you,
Absolutely.
but just start.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Just
So,
start.
so so, Angela, what is some of the future for 2024? Like, what upcoming projects, expansions? What are
Well,
you so excited about? I mean, you've
I'm
already said there's a
excited about
special coming out.
I'm hosting the Black Veg Fest on August 17th here in Brooklyn. And I'm just looking for the green light for me to possibly have a series on PBS, which
Woohoo!
fingers crossed, because it did do high numbers. My product did do high numbers in the prime time slot. And I'm just looking forward to creating more content and to possibly partner up with brands that are also part of the lifestyle brand, but also outside of that circle.
That is awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see the show when it hits here and we can watch it. We'll make sure
I
those
mean, you can
links are in
watch
the
it
show.
on YouTube right now because
Okay.
we did do a live launch, and then it's also being shown on PBS like right now.
Good. So we're gonna get the links and put those in the show notes for everybody to click on and help support Angela. Angela,
Yes.
where is the future of veganism, plant-based living, and how do you plan to be a part of it?
Well, my goal is
Besides eating more Rebel cheese, I think.
I see the future of plant-based and vegan living becoming bigger and being more involved in the conversation instead of being a stepchild. And for me, for Vegan Pop Eat, I see my brand being global. I see myself with products, and I also see myself I really truly believe that I will be the first like correspondent on a major network talking about our lifestyle and showing, how abundant living is and how dope it is over here on the green side.
I love it. I want to know how I can support you, and I want to see you up there on GMA doing that. So, let's all help support Angela. So that's my last big question for you then. What can we all do as a community to help, and what are the best ways to get in touch?
Well, what you can do to help is whenever you see my content, share it with people. That's the only thing that I ever ask anyone, because the more visibility it alerts, America, and it alerts the community that it is needed. And, don't be afraid to say hello on Vegan Pop Eat too on Instagram. And of course you can, see me on the other social media and YouTube and things of that nature.
That's awesome. And it's veganpopeats.com, right? Like that's the best way
Yes.
to get connected to all of it.
Veganpopeats.com,
That's
Vegan
right.
Pop Eats. Anytime you see it, just say hello.
Awesome. Well, that has been super amazing to hear about all the exciting stuff. I can't wait to see that on the TV soon. I'm going to make sure I queue it up. So thank you, Angela, for being here.
Yes.
That is all the time we have for this episode of the Plant Based on Fire podcast. Again, Angela, we really appreciate you joining us and sharing your insights and experiences with us in the community. Until next time, everybody, keep the fire burning.
Yes, stay warm.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Plant Based on Fire. We hope you enjoyed learning about the innovative plant-based businesses we featured today and got inspired to support them on their journey. Remember, plant-based eating isn't just a trend. It's a way of life that benefits your health, the environment, and animals. By choosing plant-based foods, you're making a positive impact on the world and helping to create a better and more compassionate future. If you want to join the Real Men Eat Plants community and get even more resources to help you go and stay plant-based, Check out our blog, podcasts, and 30-day challenge at realmeneatplants.com. Thank you for tuning in to Plant Based on Fire, brought to you by Real Men Eat Plants. Head over to Apple Podcast and give us a review, and let us know what you think of this episode. Don't forget to tag us at Plant Based on Fire when you share this episode in your preferred social media. Wish to be a guest? We need to know about your plant-based business. Email us at pbof@realmeneatplants.com. We love hearing from our listeners. Thank you to our guests and to you, our listeners, for your support, and see you next time.